Today, we're going to tackle something that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. But believe me, the consequences are very, very real. We're talking about lethal autonomous weapon systems, and we're going to break down how experts are trying to govern the ghost in the machine.
And that really brings us to the single biggest question here. I mean, think about it. As we build weapons that can literally make their own decisions on a battlefield, can we, the people who created them, truly stay in control? This is the question that keeps a lot of very smart people up at night.
Because at its core, this isn't just a tech problem, it's an ethics problem. The real challenge is creating an AI that isn't just powerful, but also responsible, reliable, and, this is the key word, governable. We have to make sure human values are driving machine actions, especially when actual lives are on the line. Okay, let's dive right into this. To really get a handle on the solutions, we first have to understand the sheer complexity of the dilemma we're all facing. So first off, let's be super clear on what we're talking about. This is not a drone being flown by a pilot thousands of miles away. No. Laws are systems that can do the whole thing, the entire kill chain, from searching for a target to taking it out, all by themselves, without a human in the loop for that specific command. So why is this such a big deal? Well, the risks are huge. These things could make catastrophic mistakes at machine speed. And if they do, who's to blame? The person who coded it? The commander who sent it out? This is what experts call the accountability gap. And even worse, you could see conflicts blow up in seconds, way faster than any human can possibly react, leading to a total loss of what is known as meaningful human control. Now, the good news is people aren't just staring at the problem. There's a really comprehensive framework being developed to basically hardwire control into these systems right from the very beginning. And this is a look at that blueprint. It's a governance framework that's really like a detailed instruction manual for how to keep a human being at the center of the decision, even when the machine itself is moving at unbelievable speeds. Let's break down its core ideas. So this framework is built on 6 key pillars. It all starts with human-centric control, and it covers everything from the moment a weapon is designed to the second it's used, making sure it follows the law, reduces risk, and has ethical safeguards baked right in. It's really a holistic approach. But how does this actually work in the real world? Well, the framework literally builds a system of checks and balances directly into the machine's own decision-making process. Okay, get this. Picture a super high-stakes timeline. The system detects something. Within seconds, it identifies it as a potential target. But notice that red box. That's a critical built-in window. It might only be a few seconds long, where a human must step in to give the final go-ahead. They call this the temporal kill chain, and it ensures a person is always part of that final, irreversible decision. But what happens if something goes wrong? The system has a kind of emergency brake. If the AI spots something weird, an anomaly, it automatically shoots up an alert. And that alert climbs a ladder from a low-level operator to their commander, and it can go all the way up the chain to requiring political authorization before the system can do anything else. It's a very clear chain of human command. Another huge risk is this thing called concept drift. Think of it like that telephone game we played as kids. An AI is trained on one set of data, but the real world, it's messy. It's always changing. As the AI sees new things, its understanding can start to drift, and it could start making bad calls. That's why you can't just build it and forget about it. So to fight that drift, the framework uses real-time monitoring. The human operators are constantly tracking these key metrics. And if the system's confidence level drops, or its level of autonomy creeps up into a warning zone, the humans get an alert immediately. You can think of it like a dashboard for safety and ethics. So, we have the technical guardrails, but how do you get entire countries to agree to use them? Let's zoom out from the ones and zeros to the world of international policy. A key tool here is something called confidence building measures, or CBMs. Now, these aren't legally binding treaties. They're more like voluntary, practical steps that nations can take to kind of show their cards. It's all about building trust and making sure everyone is playing by the same rules in this new game, which hopefully reduces the risk of a catastrophic mistake. And these CBMs get really specific. We're talking about countries openly sharing their policies on AI, declaring exactly who is accountable when a weapon is used, and even swapping notes on how they test these systems to make sure they're safe. Transparency here is absolutely the currency of trust. And this is where the rubber meets the road.
These technical frameworks and policy ideas are being debated right now, in real time, in places like the United Nations. The whole idea is to turn these concepts into the international norms that will govern the future of war. So, the ultimate goal here is crystal clear. It's about creating policies and systems that act like guardrails, preventing one little system error or a single miscalculation from spiraling into a huge unintended conflict. It's about preserving stability in an age of automation. So, as we wrap up this explainer, let's just pull together the most important takeaways for governing these conflicts of the future. Okay, here's what you really need to remember. First, you can't solve this with just tech or just policy. You have to link them together. Second, the absolute non-negotiable goal has to be meaningful human control and accountability. And finally, it's those cool mechanisms like the critical decision window and the escalation ladder that make that control a real thing, not just a nice idea. And that, of course, leaves us with one last big question. We are in a flat-out race between technology and policy. And as AI accelerates at this incredible exponential rate, you have to ask, are the governance frameworks we're designing today going to be strong enough to safeguard our tomorrow? That's the question we all need to be asking.